All right, so this is just for you. I told you I'd make you a location video, and here it is. I'm just now getting to it, and my day has been nonstop all day, all kinds of reasons, and here I am. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get to bed. I'm gonna trade US session tomorrow, right? So what we're looking at here is a 4-hour zone, and we're looking at the FLB surge. We've got a couple other indicators on here. And then we have some indicators right here in the top left. All right. So this is a 9-day and this is a 50-day. And we're going to treat this just like a moving average crossover. Right. If we're above and the 9 days above and everything, we're good for longs. If we're below, we're good for shorts. If we're in between, we're ranging. You can go into a range strategy, but if you're not comfortable with one, or you just don't. Just wait for the breaks. Even if you don't take a trade one day, that's fine. Because when these are aligned and everything's lining up for you, you can get some really good trades, and you can lay into them and risk more, knowing that the probability is on your side. So like this right here, we're pushing bullish for 8 days there, 9 days. So you just know, right? And then if you pull back into the zones, and you just know, hey, we're pushing, right? This is OBV. It's on balance volume. Just Google it if you want, but up, down, period. So let's go over how we can get into the trades, and we'll just talk about what happened today, right? So we're looking at 930 open right here, right? So we break out in a 930, it shoves up, okay? And I got today I got into the trade, but it immediately dumped down, and I just kind of got discouraged with it. And I really don't like all-time highs that much. It's really kind of a pain in the ass to trade. They do a lot of games and playing, and you can tell right here, like, look at this dump here that happened overnight and pushed up. Most of the day we were just doing this crazy shit, and we get a little impulse and more crazy, and then we finally get another impulse. To me, it's just not worth it. But I'll show you how to get into these trades, and we're going to use a 3-minute Heiken Ashi. Okay, a lot of people like to go into the smaller time frames. They think they can get better entries and better trades, and to be honest with you, it's just not true. Sometimes you get lucky, and most of the time you don't. Most of the time you're bombing out, right? So let's look at it. We got their 4-hour FLB zone here, right? That's all we have on here is the 4-hour FLB, and it's green. All right. Now that means we want to go up. Our OBV was straight up, okay? And then if we look at our 9 and 50, again, we are bullish, right? Because these are above, this is above, everything's above. So we're looking for longs, period. Doesn't matter where we are in the chart, doesn't matter all-time highs or anything, we're just looking for longs. What do we want to do? We want to wait for here's 930 right here. We get into this, what I call the squigglies, and then we want to wait for it to see if there's an impulse into one of these ladders. You want to trade from these ladders. That's the location. You want to be taking trades from these areas. That's where there's going to be involvement. All right. Now this is green, so we're looking for longs. Everything says longs. All right. Now we're looking for confirmation that we're going to push up. Okay. So if you're liking the surge, we'll use the surge because it's really good on finding pullbacks and getting into trades. And it's just, I like it, and it really works. It works really well. It's worked better than a MACD. So what are we looking for? We're pushing up, we're above, doing everything. We're waiting for this yellow line to break the 0.5. All right. That's it. That's what we're waiting on. We want to see that. Now, if that aligns with rejecting the zone or aligns with rejecting the ladder level, cool. But we want to see this come down and then shoot back up. And if you look on the close of this shooting back up, which is this candle right here, let me put a little drawing on it. Where's my drawing stuff? Right? Is this candle right here? Why didn't that draw? There we go. This one right here. And if you notice, everything is pushing right here at the same time. So that shoots up. This breaks over and closes over this line that caused the drop here. This one right here, right? And then we have volume. See our volume right here? is breaking up over all these other ones right there. That's showing you that this move is real. Okay. You need to, if you see your volume breaking all the other ones, the move is real. Now, you don't get locked into like, I have to enter right this second because this candle closed over and this went up here and the volumes. No, if you need to take a second or two to let your brain, recognize that all of this is happening, that's fine, right? No entry is going to be exactly perfect. Now, here's where we come into our entry. We need to make sure we're using proper risk management. So if we get into this entry, that's the entry right there where that price line is. Now, here's a trick. You can go to settings on the chart, go to symbol and click real prices on price scale when you're using Heikin Ashi. That line is the price. This is the average, the candle, but that line is real price. If you get a bullish candle like this with prices above the body of the candle like that, then that's worth taking, right? Okay, so just keep that in mind. If this thing was way down here and that did that, I wouldn't take the trade. I would wait. Okay, if this price was way down here and the candle looked like this, I wouldn't take the trade, especially with Heikin Ashi. So just keep that in mind. Turn that setting on, let your price be above or below the body and help determine that's the direction price is going. So now, again, back to risk management. This is where makes and breaks traders. Okay. One is stop loss location. Yeah, that's a 70-point stop loss. It sure is 100%, but that's the invalidation area of this trade does not work. That's where your stop loss needs to go. Okay. Now, what you do is you use your contracts to figure out, I say if you're risking $500, well, then you need to figure out how many contracts you put on there so that if this stop loss gets hit, you only lose $500. Now, here comes the thing. What if your stop loss was down here and you only want to risk $500? Well, then you find out how many contracts you got to put on here for if this stop loss gets hit, it's only $500. So you need to have a fixed risk. Okay. So you can have a better chance of not blowing the account before you get it to a funded or payout status. Period. Right. So, and that's not an option. That's not I'll figure that out later. You need to figure that out first on how to do that. Ninja TradingView has I can't do it on replay, has the options where you can put in the risk dollar amount and put in your stop loss and your entry wherever you want it. And then you click the button when you get your entry you want or using limit orders, and it'll do it to a point. There's software for NinjaTrader that you can get that does it for you. That's what I use. I'm considering building one, but I got so much stuff to do. I haven't. Anyway, so we say we're risking $500 here. Okay. Now we want to target the next ladder because we trade ladder to ladder, right? But this is only a 1.21. So I would probably go for like a 1.2 or try to get to a 1.5. I'm not going to try to go all the way up to the next ladder, but I'm going to try to get up here. So I'm going to be running. I might even close half my position when it hits that ladder. The next one, if it does, right? And then go into a break even and try and hit it. But it does get the whole 2R right there. So that is a very simple strategy that if you just are patient enough to wait for these things to align, and they will align more than they won't, you're going to have some really good trades. Now, shorts, it's just the complete opposite. We're just looking for a impulse down, right? Pull back up, and then a cross back down, and then there you go. There you have a where is my short button? You have a short that you can take that. Where is that? It actually went all the way to the 1, but this would be about the entry right here, and then your stop will go there, and then you would target the next zone since that's around a 2. Okay, and then that's it. That's your trade. And here's the thing: once you win, just be done for the day. Be done for the day. Okay. Now I'm gonna push stop, and I'm gonna make another recording real quick about Trade Shield. I want to just show you something. So sit tight. All right, so I want to show you Trade Shield. This was just updated today, right? So it's going to go on your chart, and down here you're going to have a status, right? And you can just install FLB Trade Shield sensor right here on each chart that you're using, or it won't let you enter a trade, right? Now, even if you're entering from TradingView or something on a phone, if you have this running on a VPS or something, it's still going to work. So here's your clock kind of right here, showing now right here, and it's showing you where we are in We're in London, then US pre, US Asia, right? So each week between 6 and 8 p.m. or the first time you install, you have to select which um, session you're going to trade, right? And I don't suggest Asia or London because most people don't even have an edge there. Honestly, I don't. I just sometimes I get a really good alignment of things and I'll take trades, but there's no volume. It's really bad. So if you select Asia and then US pre-market maybe sometimes and click lock, that's it. You're not going to be able to enter any trades at night. And the reason for this is the hardest thing for people to do is control, is willpower, is control their discipline on when they should get in and get out of trades and not trade under boredom and all kinds of things. There's all kinds of reasons for this. All right. So that's going to let you decide on what session to trade. Then you have your flat null. Obviously that's flat null. Here's your chart instruments. If you have them on multiple charts, it'll show multiple instruments here. It's telling you there's no trade right now anyways, based on Trade Shield. So when you come into the settings, right, you have to select a daily goal, a daily loss, and a high watermark setting. Now, daily goal and daily loss, those are obviously very obvious of what they do. High watermark is, say you want to make $500 a day. Okay, that's your goal. But when you get to 300, you're going to trail 20% of your 300 starting and then highest profit 20% of that. So that if things turn around on you and goes the other way, you don't end up red. You end up saving 20% or 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever you want of your highest P&L, which will be shown right here, right? So say you go to 300 and this is set at, I don't know, 50% just to be easy. And you go up to $400 and then it tanks on you. Well, you're going to be locked in at 200, right? And it's going to close the trade at 200 and lock the account and you're done for the day, right? Now, this is right here is a lock me out until next session. If you've hit your money that you are happy with or whatever, or you're just not happy with the session or whatever reason, and you want to force yourself to not trade it anymore, which happens sometimes, and then sometimes you come back and trade it anyways, you click this and it won't let you, right? Now, this is per account that you can do all this on, right? So you set this on each account. You can't change any of this throughout the day. You have to wait till the next session if you want to change these settings, because optional risk management isn't risk management, right? You need to set your rules and your goals and then be held accountable towards them. And this is going to do that for you. It's going to also stop you from trading out of the direction of Trade Shield. It will not let you do it. It also has tilt detection if you're getting into tilt, if you're entering too many contracts, if you're spiraling out, if you have consecutive losses, if you're more trades they're slamming in and it's going to lock you out and tell you to cool down for 10 minutes. So make sure you're using this thing. All right. It's actually working and you can use it and install it now. And use it. If you have any questions, just let me know and I will help you out.